Hi everybody, welcome to Quisley's Math Desk. I'm Chris Quisley, Math Specialist for Albert Lea, Minnesota. What we're going to talk about today is why tools are so important to help us build our students' mathematical understanding. We're going to talk about the 3 different stages. It's going to be a little longer video than I usually make. I usually try to make a video around 3 to 4 minutes, and this is going to be about double that. So stick with it. It's worth the viewing, and it's worth really having that grasp of why using tools is so important in our classes. So let's get started. One of the first things I want to show is some of the 3 basic tools that we should definitely have in our classroom, no matter what grade level or age level we teach. We've got 2-sided counters here. We've got Unifix cubes or counting cubes, depending on what you want to call them. There's all kinds of brand names for them as well. And then over here we have base 10 blocks or place value blocks. Again, come in all sizes, shapes, colors, doesn't really matter. The important thing is that there's a tool. As a mom, these are all great, but a mom who was a math teacher, I didn't have these at home. So for those of you who are parents who are watching, any type of thing that we can manipulate, like here I have pop bottle caps, that we can manipulate and use for counters is great and used as a tool, because here's the whole purpose of a tool. The tool's purpose is for students to be able to have something to work with here, to be able to see it, to be able to touch it, to be able to move it from one to the other. That's where we're starting. So why is all this important? Well, it starts out, we know that our students' understanding in math, or in anything for that matter, starts at a concrete level. At this concrete level, this is where we are using these tools. No matter which ones they are, this is where we're using the tools. A little caution, don't mix the tools. Don't use, especially the younger our students are, don't use some of Unifix cubes and some pop bottle caps. Use one or the other. Because trust me, students will see this as, rightly so, 2 different tools, but they won't be able to combine them and see here that I have seven things. They won't see that at first. It'll be 3 things and 4 things, and possibly even 3 things, and 1 thing, because this is different. Okay, so we have the concrete. That's where we are using tools, manipulating tools, having actual objects. They're concrete objects. There are things that we can move. All right. Where we're going is the abstract. So the abstract is, this is where it is strictly numbers, symbols, letters. It could also be words. All of that is in the abstract. And so the big question is, how do we get from here to here? And that's through our experiences with our students, because where we're going is the representational. Okay, and so let's take a look at what this would be like. Concrete, like I said, concrete is where students are able to see numbers, manipulate numbers, really touch and feel the numbers. So, for example, if I have the number 23, I need to build that 23. Now, I could take out my 23 bottle caps. I could take out my 23, and it's not me as a teacher taking that out. It's having my students come up with this. For this example, I'm going to use the place value blocks or the base 10 blocks, whatever you want to call them, and I'm going to show 23. So this is a student who understands that I've already built this. I know that this one item is a 10. Where students struggle with this idea of concrete to representational to abstract, because really this representational, this is our semi-space or our semi-phase. What I mean by that is we're going to be semi-concrete and we're going to be semi-abstract. Okay? Right now, if I were building the number 23 and I was strictly in the concrete stage, I would have it like that with no number representation. So coming back to this, here's my 23 and I'm going to build it. And what students sometimes have the problem is they see this 23 here and they can't break it down to here. And they don't see that 23, that this number is a symbol, is a representation of an actual object. It's 2 10s and 3 1s. Or, you know, if I would get out enough ones and come up, you know, and keep counting and counting and counting and come up with 23 here on the page, it would also be that. And then I could form it into the 2 10s and the 3 1s. What students need to understand is every number has another number inside of it. So if I'm back and I'm building my number 23 with concrete materials, I've got it here. If I'm strictly abstract, that would be here. And if I want representational, that's where our pen comes involved. I may not have the concrete blocks, but I can draw my 2 10s and my 3 1s, and that's my representational. Where we sometimes get into trouble as adults is we try to go from the concrete to the abstract and we skip the representational. And the representational is so critical. Or we go right from, we skip the concrete and we go from here to here, or we think if we have gone from the concrete to the representational, oh, well, they must understand it because they know that this is 23, but they sometimes get confused on how to write the 23, that this is telling me I have 2 10s and 3 1s. So I have 23. It's important that we do all the stages of learning. Now, will our students go through at the same time, at the same pace? Nope. That's why we're teachers. Will our students maybe struggle from going from one to the other? Absolutely. And the good news is, once we have it, a little sarcasm here, in addition and subtraction and multiplication and division, and then we throw decimals, we dive into decimals, we might have to come back to the concrete. It's not always a direct correlation of they have it with whole numbers, they'll have it with decimals. Oh, they have it with whole numbers, they'll have it with fractions. Doesn't happen. It can happen. However, let's make it happen. Let's get out the tools and help our students go from the concrete to the representational to the abstract. All right. Well, this is Quisley's Math Desk, and hope this has been helpful for you of why tools, just a brief explanation of why tools are important. Have a great day.